In the heart of New York City, the grand opening of Sterling Holdings' latest skyscraper was a spectacle of wealth and power. The ballroom glittered with chandeliers, and laughter echoed off the marble walls. Yet, amidst the elite, a cruel joke was about to unfold. William Sterling III, a millionaire with a penchant for arrogance, raised a champagne glass, his voice dripping with disdain. "If you dance this waltz, I'll marry my son to you," he sneered, pointing at Kesha Johnson, a black woman who had just dropped a crystal tray. The laughter that followed was a wave of collective cruelty, drowning out the music and silencing the room. Kesha, a contract cleaner, knelt on the floor, her hands trembling as she picked up the shards. But her eyes held a calmness that belied the humiliation. "I accept," she said, her voice cutting to the laughter like a knife. The room fell silent, shocked by her audacity. "If I dance better than your wife, you will keep your word." Victoria Sterling, William's wife, approached with a venomous smile. "Do you really think I need to compete with this?" she scoffed, her tone dripping with condescension. But Kesha's mind raced back to her past. 15 years ago, she was Kesha Morrow, the principal dancer of the American National Ballet, celebrated and adored. A tragic accident had shattered her dreams, leaving her to rebuild her life in anonymity. As the music began, Kesha stood still, her heart pounding. She had spent years in physical therapy, learning to walk again, but the fire of dance still burned within her. William, sensing the spectacle, egged on the crowd, placing bets on her failure. $500 says she can't even make it through the song without tripping, he shouted, laughter erupting around him. But Kesha was not just a cleaning lady. She was a dancer reborn. As the waltz began, she moved with a grace that defied the years of struggle. Each step was a testament to her resilience, her body remembering the movements that had once brought her acclaim. The audience, initially skeptical, began to shift in their seats. Captivated by the transformation unfolding before them, William's laughter faded as he watched Kesha dance. She executed pirouettes and grand jetés, her movements a blend of classical ballet and the waltz, mesmerizing everyone in the room. "My God," someone whispered, "she's exceptional." The applause grew, a wave of appreciation washing over the ballroom, drowning out the echoes of William's mockery. As Kesha reached the climax of her performance, she struck a pose that radiated power and vulnerability. The silence that followed was palpable, a moment of collective realization that they were witnessing not just a dance, but the reclamation of a lost legend. Then, the applause erupted, shaking the very foundations of the ballroom. "Ladies and gentlemen, Marcus, the head of security, announced, stepping forward with his phone. Allow me to introduce Kesha Morrow, former principal soloist with the American National Ballet." Gasps filled the room as the truth of her identity sank in. William's face drained of color, the weight of his arrogance crashing down upon him. Kesha turned to William, her voice steady. "You made a public bet with clear terms. Now you must decide if you are a man of your word." The audience murmured, the tension thick in the air. Jonathan, William's son, stepped forward, his expression a mix of admiration and defiance. "I would like to publicly apologize for my father's behavior. It was inexcusable." William's anger boiled over. "You will not apologize to anyone, especially not to her," he shouted, his face reddening with rage. But Kesha remained calm, her eyes locked on Jonathan. "I believe we have a marriage proposal to discuss," she said, her smile radiant. "But marriage is something two people decide together, based on love and respect, not humiliating bets." The applause swelled again, this time for Kesha's dignity and wisdom. William, realizing he had lost not only the bet but the respect of everyone present, muttered something about leaving it to the lawyers and stormed out, followed by a mortified Victoria. As the crowd dispersed, Kesha was bombarded with offers. Ballet companies wanted her to choreograph performances, and Hollywood producers were interested in her story. But the most touching offer came from the children at the community school where she had taught. They pooled their savings to offer her a scholarship to return to teaching. "I'll take it," Kesha said, tears in her eyes, "but on one condition. Let's turn this into something bigger." 6 months later, the Kesha Morrow Center for the Arts opened in Manhattan. Funded by donations that poured in after her story went viral. Jonathan, now running a revamped version of the family business focused on social responsibility, was the first major donor. William Sterling, on the other hand, had lost everything: his company, his reputation, and his family. Victoria had filed for divorce, and he was last seen working as a low-level consultant. A shadow of the man he once was. The center's opening, Marcus watched Kesha teach a class of diverse, smiling children. "This isn't just a victory over prejudice," he said, "but a lesson in how true nobility responds to cruelty." Kesha smiled as she watched her students perform their first ballet steps. "Sometimes we have to lose everything to discover who we really are," she said. "And sometimes people have to lose everything to learn who they should never have tried to be." As Jonathan approached, offering her flowers from the garden he had planted, Kesha accepted not just his arm, but the new life she had built from the ashes of her old one. Her true revenge wasn't in destroying William Sterling. It was in creating something beautiful and inspiring, proving that when faced with prejudice, responding with dignity and excellence can transform the world around you. In the months that followed, the Kesha Morrow Center for the Arts became a beacon of hope and creativity in the community. Children from all backgrounds flocked to the center, eager to learn dance, music, and the arts. Kesha poured her heart into teaching, sharing her passion and knowledge with her students. She instilled in them the values of perseverance, respect, and the importance of believing in oneself. Meanwhile, Jonathan found himself increasingly involved in the center's activities. He organized fundraising events, bringing in local businesses and artists to support Kesha's mission. The bond between them deepened, built on mutual respect and admiration. Jonathan admired Kesha not just for her talent, but for her strength and resilience in the face of adversity. As the center flourished, Kesha's story began to spread beyond the confines of Manhattan. Media outlets picked up on her journey, highlighting her transformation from a cleaning lady to a celebrated artist and educator. Documentaries were made and interviews followed, showcasing her incredible talent and the impact she was having on the lives of young people. However, William Sterling was not done yet. Humiliated and desperate, he sought to regain his lost reputation. He attempted to undermine Kesha's success, spreading rumors and trying to discredit her achievements. But the community rallied around Kesha, standing firm against William's attempts to tarnish her name. The support she received was overwhelming, a testament to the power of unity and resilience. One day, during a community event at the center, Kesha received a surprise visit from a renowned ballet company. They had come to offer her a prestigious position as a choreographer, recognizing her talent and the unique perspective she brought to the art form. Kesha was overjoyed, knowing that this opportunity would allow her to reach even more people and inspire future generations. As she stood on the stage, addressing the crowd of eager young dancers and their families, Kesha felt a sense of fulfillment wash over her. "This is just the beginning," she said, her voice filled with emotion. "Together, we can break barriers and redefine what it means to be an artist. Let's show the world that talent knows no boundaries." The applause that followed was thunderous, echoing through the hall and filling Kesha's heart with hope. She had not only reclaimed her identity, but had also become a symbol of strength and resilience for others. Her journey was a reminder that no matter how far one falls, it is possible to rise again, stronger than before. As the years went by, Kesha continued to thrive in her new role, mentoring countless young dancers and helping them find their own voices. Jonathan remained by her side, supporting her every step of the way. Their partnership blossomed into a deep friendship, and the chemistry between them was undeniable. One evening, as they walked through the center's garden, Jonathan turned to Kesha, his expression serious. "You've changed so many lives, Kesha. You've shown everyone that true nobility comes from within. I admire you more than you know." Kesha smiled, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Thank you, Jonathan. But it's not just me. It's all of us working together. We're creating something beautiful here." As they stood together, surrounded by the laughter and joy of the children playing in the garden, Kesha realized that her journey had come full circle. She had transformed not only her own life, but the lives of countless others. The dance of redemption was not just her story. It was a story of hope, resilience, and the power of community. And so, the Kesha Morrow Center for the Arts continued to thrive, a testament to the belief that when faced with prejudice and adversity, responding with dignity and excellence can indeed transform the world around us. Kesha had proven that true artistry lies not just in talent, but in the ability to uplift others and inspire change.